We've all seen those ads on TVs that say for just one small donation a month, you could help a bigger cause. Hunters, in a sense, do this every time they purchase a license or pay a fee to a membership club. Hunters raise upwards of $750 million every year, says Scott C. of Ducks Waterfowl, to go towards conservation efforts to animals and to help preserve wildlife populations. As an avid hunter myself, I've always wondered where this money goes and how it is used. I was also wondering about many of the physical benefits and emotional benefits that hunting has on a human being. I've experienced many of these myself after doing the research, but I furthered my information on it. Today I'm going to be covering many of the few benefits that hunting has on a human being. I will go through how hunters raise money by paying fees and purchasing licenses. Secondly, I will be talking about the many benefits that hunting has, both physically and emotionally, on a human being. Lastly, I'll be talking about the meals that you can create from harvesting your own game. To understand how hunters help wildlife, first we must learn how they fund conservation efforts by purchasing licenses, gear, and paying membership fees. In 1937, the Pittman-Richardson Act, also known as the Federal Aid and Wildlife Restoration Act, charged an 11% tax on everything hunting. This included ammunition, archery, firearms, and just hunting supplies in general. Since the bill has been passed, it has raised over $2 billion and is the largest fund towards wildlife conservation efforts. Paying fees through memberships, such as organizations such as Pheasants Forever, the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, and Ducks Unlimited, goes towards preserving wildlife habitat and furthering research on how we can help animals more. Now that we have covered the basics of how conservation efforts are funded by hunters, we can cover how hunting itself benefits wildlife. Hunters are the most ardent conservationists there are. The passenger pigeon in the early 1800s was hunted to extinction, and the bison almost went with it. After this, many hunters realized that we must further our conservation efforts and increase conservation areas so that animals will have plenty of room to grow and have populations thrive. They also furthered regulations on hunting that allowed populations to bounce back after they were almost hunted to extinction. Theodore Roosevelt, the founder of the National Wildlife Refuge System and hunter himself, once said, "In a civilized and cultivated country, wild animals only continue to exist at all when preserved by sportsmen. The excellent people who protest against all hunting and consider sportsmen as enemies of wildlife are ignorant of the fact that genuine sportsmen are the keepers of wildlife." This sums up in a quote how important hunters are to actually preserving wildlife as a whole. Now that you know how hunters help wildlife conservation and populations, here is how harvesting your own animals can benefit you. Besides the obvious physical benefits, such as walking through the woods, getting outside, and getting fresh air, there are a lot of emotional benefits that go with hunting. You can get a sense of fulfillment that you're doing something great by bringing home food for your family and providing for the people you love. It also gives you time to be in peace and quiet and just reflect on your thoughts. Maybe you have to think about a hard decision in your life. Being in the outdoors will allow you to think about it clearly. The obvious objective of hunting is to bring home meat for the table, and some of the benefits of bringing home game meat, such as venison. It is very high in minerals and is low in cholesterol and is much better for you than traditional meat that you can buy at the grocery store, such as pork, chicken, and beef. Today we have covered many benefits, such as simply purchasing a license or a box of ammunition. You are helping to protect wildlife. We've also covered how hunters help control wildlife populations by managing animals, and how hunting can emotionally and physically help you. The efforts of hunters go to show you that one little thing done by many people lead to a benefit much bigger than anyone could ever imagine.